Thomas, by my clock, I show we were early. I don't know.
100%.
I don't know what time it is in Texas, but I showed 7:59 when we went live. It's 8 o'clock now.
Nailed it.
But so, everyone's falling out of their chairs in chat, which is a problem because chairs were not working. But we'll get that fixed.
Part of the plan. You're coming in. You're coming in a smidge low.
Hot. Was that better?
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Perfect.
All right. Good.
There it is. Just raining shock everywhere. On time. Wow. Can't believe it.
You guys are terrible. I'm always on time. When have we ever been like really late? And by really late, I'm thinking 10, 15 minutes. Have we ever? Maybe one time. One time, maybe 10-ish.
Yeah,
which is a gimme, right?
We get, I would say, we've been doing this 1.5 years-ish. I'd say we should be allotted 3 of those. And when we're that late, it's a technical difficulty. It's not us just chatting, hanging out, ignoring the time.
And how many gimmies do you get in golf when you're golfing? Like when you hit the ball in the water or something?
Depends which one of my friends you are, because some ask for more than others, and some don't use any. So
you don't need any for the way you golf, I'm sure.
I'll take when I can get them. I promise you that. Had a good weekend last weekend, actually, on the golf course.
Do tell.
I know this isn't a golfing podcast, but yeah, it was really fun. So this is fresh into the golf season, and I've been working on changing a few things and trying to get where it needs to be. And I shot 32 on the front side, par's 36, so it's 4 under, and then tanked in my version on the backside because I shot even par on the back. But it was a good day to come in under par.
I've actually had the exact same score, which is not bad for 8 holes. I mean, the first 4, the second 4, I was actually proud of myself.
That's fair. But no, so I'm playing again Saturday morning with my good buddy that I play with all the time, and he's a good player as well. The Tour Championship's going on right now, so great weekend. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Mother's Day's long gone, so I don't have a to-do list.
Hopefully you got all of it to done. It's on the to done list.
That's it.
Hockey playoffs, Canes are up.
Yes, that's a big one too. Stars sadly lost last night. I didn't get to watch a single minute of the game because some long desired sod I've been waiting for to do some patchwork showed up. And so I had to flood it. Yeah, I was out there and I came inside and clicked on and I'm like, why is it going to the next game on Friday? Where's today? And then I pulled it up and it game over and we lost. And so I was bummed on that one, but it's a great series. Playoffs are a lot of fun. I'm liking it right now.
Awesome. That's cool. How was, we're doing catch up on this past week. How was Police Academy?
Yeah. Really fun. So this is the second to last week. Sorry, Gally, man. I'm sorry, but I don't think so. It's not going to happen. They're good. They're just not good enough. Second to last week. Next week, Monday is SWAT. We get to work with those guys and learn their tactics and shoot their pew-pews under their instruction, which is a lot of fun.
All at work.
Yes, absolutely.
That's an expensive night as far as the cost of Police Academy. That's got to be right up there.
100%. You're going to have brass just going everywhere. Plus they're all there, because for those of you that don't know, or some of you might, a lot of departments, bigger departments, have a dedicated SWAT team, just like you might see on TV. LAPD SWAT, I think, is one of the shows. And that's all they do is they're on SWAT. And when they're not out on calls, they're training, working out, practicing, doing all those things. Most departments are not that way. They are patrol officers, detectives, doing whatever they're doing during the day. And then when there's a big call that requires SWAT, they are SWAT trained. So they abort their patrol or their detective work and they go gear up and then they head out to where that call is. That's how our department is as well. So They're
Basically, it's the good job. They get to skip all the crap work and go have fun anytime something big happens.
when there's a call out. Exactly. So I'm sure they get paid overtime to do it. Officer Brian, who you guys all have known and met and seen on the channel, he is head of community relations for the department. So it's just part of his job to host us all these nights. So he's not getting overtime. The poor guy.
Oh man, that's
So
terrible.
this Monday was animal services, which I'm just going to kind of blow through that one because that was more depressing to me than touring the state prison all red unit as far as what goes on and what happens there. But they synced in their canine unit and Officer Bartow with canine lock. And it was awesome because I know a lot about dogs and what we always watch and we talk about the fur missile, go get him and go get him. Well, the canine unit we have here is not an attack dog. He is a straight narcotics animal and or tracker. So he is a playful puppy dog with energy to the moon. So, um,
Is
so
that my cue, or should I wait?
you can when you want, whenever.
Okay, I have to put it over my screen though.
Okay. So here's canine lock. He is, I forget how he's still young, but we threw this ball for about 30 minutes in here, and people were throwing it really far where he was doing 360s and spins and jumps. And the only thing they said was, you know, he might come up to you and want you to throw the ball, but don't take it from his mouth. Let him drop it at your feet. And by the end of the class, he dropped it at my feet about 8 times in a row. And I went, I either have narcotics in my pocket or we just get along really well.
Keep throwing the ball, he won't bark. They'll never know.
Yeah. So he was awesome. He would not quit. He was running and jumping and he wouldn't get it. 2 really cool takeaways from that experience. One was they explained how dogs and how they smell and what it works. He gave a great example. If we went to McDonald's and like got a Big Mac and set it in a room, like the vast majority of us would sit there and smell like a big hamburger or cheeseburger. Well, you do that in front of Canine Lock or any other dog like that. He's compartment analyze. I'm not going to even do that. He breaks down. There he is. It's a good boy, good puppers. So he would break down the burger he would smell the bread, the lettuce, the tomato, the cheese, the meat, the mayo. They can break all those smells down and decipher everything that's going on. And the pickle.
Okay.
That's right. I can't believe I almost left that out. It's such a big deal. And so that was really neat kind of learning there. And then the other is the equipment that the officer has. One really cool thing is a lot of times the canine officer will be out on a call, but he doesn't need lock to come out and do it, you know, help or assist or whatever. They have a really cool heat sensor warning in the car because the car is always on when the dog's in there with the AC just blasted. Well, if a belt or something breaks on the car and the AC dies, when it hits a certain temperature, the officer has like a pager on him that alerts him. The car rolls all the windows down and the lights and the sirens immediately activate and go off to draw all the attention in the world to it's a little warm.
Release the fur missile.
yeah, and let him go. Kelly P. His name was Canine Lock, Lock.
Like
really
Lockjaw
cool.
on
Lockjaw.
the bad guy.
Yeah. Really, really neat. There's a lot of rules and regulations amongst departments. If you're going to have a canine, for instance, you have to have a remote rear door activation to open. So if the officer, again, Lock is not an attack dog, but of course he's going to help his handler. So if he's all of a sudden wrestling with a bad guy, he can hit a remote on his belt and those doors fire open and Lock can jump out and come help. But there's a whole lot of things in there. So his canine unit vehicle costs significantly more than the average patrol car, even though it looks the same on the outside. But really neat. It's cool. He cost $10,000 and it was donated by a local organization to the PD. The officer had to go to Mississippi and meet the pup that had been already going through the training. And the officer had to be trained for a month with the dog before he could come home. He showed some pictures of them in the hotel and canine locks on the bed, just like I own this place. Thank you so much. And so now narcotics dogs and things like that, they will be in service anywhere from 6 to 8 years before they retire them out. Whereas attack dogs, they'll go 4 to 6 years because their training is so much more aggressive and they're in that. Our city, once they retire the dog, they offer the handler, so Officer Bartow, to purchase canine lock for $1. It has to be legal and official and everything. So they sell the dog for $1 and it becomes this forever doggo.
That's
So-
a lot of depreciation. I mean, if you're just
Yeah.
on investment side.
Yes, absolutely.
I've done that with cars before. I've done the whole I'll sell it to you for $1, just take it off my hands. But yeah,
So-
that's cool though. I like that. When a lot of times a police dog, because of their training, they're not necessarily the same that you might think of as a pet. And
It's not your average doggo.
A lot of attention, and they need somebody that understands what their life is like and what drives them and what they need. So that's really cool.
Yeah. So it was fun. It was super neat to see him in action and hang out. And I've been around attack dogs before. My dad had taken me to a training when they were working with attack dogs and they had the big suit on with the big padded arm and they were running away.
You can still feel it. just here to tell you.
Absolutely.
It's like a giant vice grip that just attached to you. You're gonna feel some pressure.
Well, this thing's trying to kill you. So I've seen those from a distance and they were still neat, but seeing a narcotic / tracking dog only who was just so playful and the energy level I've never seen out of a dog in my life that he had, but yet the commands that he followed, and holy cow, was he disciplined. It was
They're
cool.
so focused. They're so focused when they're working. It's amazing.
Yes. So really excited. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, next week SWAT, and then we graduate Tuesday, which my classes are on Monday nights. So we turn right around Tuesday night and go do our little graduation ceremony. They're going to give us some dinner and play a 10-minute slideshow of everything that Officer Brian, he's responsible for all the media capturing he's been doing. So he has to put that together. Excited. It's been a lot of fun. It's been awesome. A+.
That's really cool. I love that you're doing it. I love that the police department puts that on for the community, because I think it's invaluable in helping people understand what happens in law enforcement and what it's really like. Because the image, what you see on TV is not the same.
No, it's so far from it. And I tell you what, I think one of the coolest parts about it is that, like I've mentioned a lot of times, I've had the luxury of knowing kind of how some of that job works to an extent, but just being there and getting to know all of the guys and gals on the department on somewhat of a personal level, right? We don't get to chat with all of them in depth, but just being around them and hanging out and having small talk from time to time during what they're doing and they're displaying. And they've all been such really cool people. They've been so kind, so polite. They like to kick back and just kind of take it easy. You can tell they enjoy it when they're showing up to do their presentations and be around and help, and they're not annoyed. So yeah,
taking it easy.
Adam, when do you get the rest of it? Subject matter jurisdiction.
Yes.
I can't do it. So.
And keeping up on the updates. Canes score, apparently. Hockey's happening, so.
It is. It's that season. How's your week been? Obviously I followed you during the days while I'm working.
Are you asking me what, if any, I've been up to this week? What, if anything, I've been up to? It's been a case and a half. It's just been crazy.
Pretty wild, isn't it?
Part of it, I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat, and the other part of it, quite literally, I've been falling asleep. Probably 3 times on stream that where you guys caught me, and then a couple more off. It's part of it's a snooze fest. I kid you not. It's just like it's the prosecutor probably needs to go to the class on presentation. Just the voice, the tone. He could change so much just by putting a little more oomph into the questions, a little more preparation instead of just like reading off a sheet.
Right.
And because of that, I mean, it's good stuff they're covering. It's important. It's not like we're going over the same thing all day long. But yeah, Lally he's lollygagging. I don't know. He's doing something that's just, it puts me right to sleep. Luckily, the defense, I mean, that's like a shot of caffeine. they get up and they're like, "Well, when did you stop beating your wife?" I'm like, "Whoa, we're right into the meat of the matter."
Right. They
It
dive in.
gets crazy.
The worst what if any I heard, I want to say it was like day 2 of the trial. He was, I believe, either an officer, one of the first responders.
Yeah.
And he said, who, if any, when responding to address such and such, got there first? That's the stupidest thing I've ever. Who, if any? You're leaving to say none of us got there first, even though we're all responding.
He should have caught that and been like, "That was a stupid question." But he later went on to say, "Who, if anyone, was driving the ambulance?" So,
there's self-driving delivery cars now. Maybe he was just presuming. I don't know. It's bad. I understand the reasoning behind certain questions. They do that, but he went to the school of do this every time, and it's awful. And I'm sorry, but when you do that, you're becoming distracting. And I'm sure there's people in the in the jury, if they could talk, are just laughing about that, and that takes away from what's supposed to be happening.
I imagine at least one of the jurors has a little tally mark, and he's on like page 6 of little tiny marks of all the what if any's, if any's, if any's. Brandy, I think, is close to 1,000 or something. It's crazy. She's counted that. We counted the size, of course, and we're over 100. But at least my clicker button is not sore. But no, it's actually a riveting trial. We've never seen one where defense is alleging a conspiracy, which, I mean, it's bizarre. This is not something you see very often. So
you said something today towards the end. Well, you said 2 things. I'll touch on both. The first one was the state is pretty much putting on a case to defend the Alberts.
Yes.
And that appears to be very accurate from what I've been watching and seeing so far, which is extremely wild. They don't seem to be producing evidence that points all the fingers towards Karen Read. They're just throwing out all the alibis and all that we had no ideas for there. So that is odd. They built their case around public opinion. That's what they chose to do, which is odd because when you're going through jury selection, you're finding people that aren't weighing heavily on public opinion. So it's a little bit different. The second part today, this afternoon, you followed up with it. And this is more for chat to hear if they heard it, if they were there. You did a little segment on the mods in mod chat. And part of that was talking about how the mod chat can get a little goofy and a little sideways and funny stuff in there. So I'm here to tell y'all in chat, he's not wrong, because it wasn't but an hour ago during a small discussion in mod chat, and Scott was in there. Scott threw at me directly that snitches get stitches. He did.
I was adding to the conversation.
He threw it right at me. And so I said, okay.
He screenshotted it.
Put a little zipper on my mouth, said I won't say a word. I got threatened in mod chat this evening before we came live. So it's real. He wasn't.
The mods are all backing you up. He did. I saw it. I got receipts as well.
Oh, it's a good time. But
we also had like a herd of monkeys. I mean, I kid you not. Samantha sent videos full of monkeys. She's got like a full circus going on outside the back deck of her house. Yes. So really cool.
So awesome. It was pretty. Adam says, well, apparently it didn't work because I told.
You didn't tell what it was about, right? What was it about?
No, I gave zero context to make you look worse, because it was valid what you're saying.
Oh yeah, thank you. So it was a threat, just to clarify. It's legitimate. There's nothing. Anyway, excited. That's cool stuff. All right. Megan wants in.
Walk you there now. Someone had me to mod chat.
Mod chat is a protected realm. Where
that's fun. And Megan, we might have spoken about it before. I don't remember, but I feel like we are somewhat close proximity, based off some weather chatter I heard in another chat or something like that. But I could be wrong. And she's probably like, no, I've told you a million times that I live here and you're there. But
Maine.
But I mean, yeah, that would be. Spot on. Um,
I mentioned a little bit. This is a weird segue, but I mentioned that during the break, during lunch, I watched some of Tucker Gott, who is a YouTuber who makes videos about paragliding, paramotor, like a powered paragliding. So he has like the little parachute thing and with the motor on his back. So he's like a swamp boat with a parachute in the air.
yeah,
That's that's what you get. Guy's incredible. He does some crazy things, but he really knows his limits. So he can, I mean, he'll like stand on someone else's chute or let someone stand on his chute and touch wingtips and drag his feet in the water and climb up to where he practically needs oxygen in the sky. But he knows what he's doing, believe it or not. So he says, "Don't try this. I'm a professional."
right.
And he does base jumping, just crazy stuff. He went down to Florida and he flew around the Icon of the Seas as it was launching on a Bermuda trip, which is like a massive cruise ship. And so he's like flying along next to him and everyone's like waving and stuff and he's waving back and it was cool to see. But there's a story that makes me scared to get on any boats whatsoever, even a big one like the Icon of the Seas.
Fair.
Because I'm not worried about Titanic so much as something a little more active in nature. This story is out of, let me pull it up here. I forgot the country it was. This happened. Gibraltar. There we go.
Where's
Third
Red
time's
Pin?
the charm.
Where's Red Pin?
Hey, first try, Gibraltar. The G country. An unknown number of orcas rammed a sailing yacht in Moroccan waters in the Strait of Gibraltar. That's what I'm sticking with, Gibraltar.
The Strait of Gibraltar. Yeah.
Causing it to sink.
A yacht.
Killer whales are sinking ships. Gibraltar. Thank you,
The
Homeschool
teacher.
Ground Zero. For that.
Teacher.
Gibraltar.
You just
I
get
skipped
attacked
this day.
every time.
Morocco. We're going to go with Morocco. We're moving the story to Morocco. Okay.
I like it.
But seriously, I think we've reached a time in, I don't know, the balance of nature versus man, where nature is striking back. We see squirrels attacking people on the streets. We've seen monkeys attacking people. Watch out, Samantha. Just warning, it happens.
Yeah.
We've seen, hogs attacking people. And now even in the waters, we're not even safe there, where killer whales are owning up to what we thought was a misnomer. But they're going for, they're sinking people. They're sinking ships. And apparently they're doing it for fun. And they're teaching other killer whales to do it as well.
It's payback from captivity in the movie Free Willy.
It's Willie. Willie's out there. He's like, guys, this is one of them that I told you about. Give it a nudge right by the rudder. There we go. Yeah. If you had a boat, would you be nervous to take it out when the killer whale's huge? They're big.
Yeah. So it's wild. My dad is a huge ocean kayaker. He does it all the time. He goes on several day trips down the coast in the ocean on his kayaks, and he'll beach camp for a few days, continue his voyage, and come back. Now, I say doesn't usually get out into the depths of where they typically are, but he's done a few trips from the coast of California out to the Catalina Islands, and it's plenty whale territory in those regions. So that I would be like, holy cow. But in a yacht or something, or even if I took a bass boat out in the middle of the ocean, no, I would have zero nerves that's actually going to happen. Now, granted, that was before you brought the story to mention. I would be a little bit more, if I saw them, I'd go, uh-oh, there they are, and this is a thing. But the odds have to be so low, right?
Well, you'd think that, but it's been happening for the last 4 years. Wow. This is not an isolated incident. And there have been 700 interactions between the orcas and ships since May of 2020.
They got pent up from COVID. the whales are just letting out. That's what I don't know. That's actually really wild. Um, yeah. Well, good thing this guy and I here. Howdy, Roy. Shout out to you. We live so far from the ocean. We couldn't be any more central from an ocean. So we were safe in that. But I didn't realize that was actually becoming a thing. Mrs. Rice says this is on, so she's teaching it in her
Thanks for having my
curriculum.
back now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Couldn't you have gone with Gibraltar?
oh no.
I'm in trouble.
I can't wait for her next comment now. I've got the mouse ready to highlight.
But has anyone else heard of like nature attacking? Like I fight nature all the time in my yard. If it's the squirrels coming through the roof, that's constant. But then from the ground as well, like plants. I've got like mean vines with big old thorny needles that are just coming up through my deck. I'm like, I can't even get down to where you are to weed you. But honestly, nature is just it's basically the apocalypse is here, and it's us versus nature. You need to pick a side, Thomas. pick a side and fight with us.
I feed 60 ducks every night in my front yard, and I don't know what else to do.
You might be part of the problem.
Yeah, that's probably the case.
Have you ever had a duck attack you?
No, not a duck. One specific female invades my privacy often if I open the garage door, which every day after work, I open the garage door, I go down and tinker in the yard or in the garage and whatever. And I didn't put the corn out in time, and she waddled right into the garage. It was like 2 feet from me, just going whack, 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 staring at me. And of course, her male counterpart, he just follows in behind, and he just sits there and he just holds fort down, looks around to make sure no one's going to mess with her. And he was almost as close. So, and then the last 3 mornings, same couple have been right at our front door. Our front door is almost all glass, and they've been right at it, just kind of looking into the house, seeing if we're up and if they're going to get any breakfast out of the deal. And I don't feed them in the mornings. I feed them in the evenings, but they're hungry and going, we know there's food. And their nose is that close to our front door hanging out. They're awesome. I love ducks. They're just pretty animals to me, and hanging out.
Jessica, geese. I was telling Thomas before the show, geese scare me to death. I don't know what it is, because weight ratio, if it's just like an issue of mass, I'm winning that hands down every time. But the goose has something that I don't have, and I have something the goose doesn't have, and that's fear. I don't know why a goose thinks that being as soft and fluffy and breakable and small as they are, they can take on me, but they'll do it. And they win every single time, which is, I don't what is it about a goose chasing you that makes it so scary? Why can't I just stand there and be like, bring it?
That it's just the aggressiveness. I mean, think about it. When like a little teeny dog that you could handle no problem, it's crazy aggressive.
But we can't talk about that on the show here, Thomas. I'm gonna get in trouble.
But yeah, it's funny. A student of mine, she was a college golfer at the time. Now it's her swing coach, was at a tournament, and she was on the hole 8, and it was a par 3 over water, and there were some geese in the area, and she set up and was getting ready to hit her tee shot there, and a goose just like mid swing start flying, and she realized it in time, didn't try to hit the ball, and took off running, and the goose would not stop for a good minute. It was pretty good. I think there was a video out there, someone got it, posted it. That was years and years ago, but yeah, they are territorial animals for sure. But they got all their babies and everything out right there this time of year. It's awesome.
I ate a goose once in England. Did I tell you that story?
Oh, I don't think so.
Good, because I think they're protected over there, and I probably shouldn't have.
Oh,
shouldn't have had it. It was a wild goose. A friend of mine tamed it quite quickly, and we ate it later that week. So
I couldn't do that.
That was not my plan, but he was a goose hunter, and he hunted it by hand and harvested, and the goose was cooked.
Well, well, I hope I hope Mom of 3 is still here listening, because there was a comment earlier she had made that said, "Today feels like a great day for a bad dad joke." So,
Oh, bad dad joke. Let's start with this one. Actually saw this one at the store today while I was shopping. Why did Mrs. Potato not want to marry Mr. Newscaster Potato?
I don't know.
Because he was a commentator.
That is a really bad one. That is awesome. It's great. Samantha nailed it. Get your tomatoes ready. Oh,
Yep.
well, with a little bit of nature talk and dad jokes going on, we have one that's what did the one tectonic plate say when it ran into the other?
I don't know what.
Sorry, my fault. They're so bad.
It's really bad.
How did we get here halfway through? That's the best. Ouch. We've got a winner. Oh, here it is. Crazy Cat loves it. Oh, it's so bad. There's one here. Thanks, 80s. They're well deserved, so I'll take them in the face.
What do you call a potato who's afraid to jump into the fry vat?
No, I feel like I should know this one. I don't know.
A hesitator.
Okay.
Can you guys tell I was stuck in the fresh fruits and veggies section of Lowe's today? Had their big grand opening in my neighborhood. It's nuts. I went there right before the show. Impressive store. Mostly I was impressed. I was looking for peppers because I like to make fresh salsa, like fresh garden salsa.
Yeah.
And they have the types of peppers I want. Like
What kind of peppers?
Anaheim. I need to have the Anaheim peppers in there. And it's the only store in the area that had them. And they've got good Anaheim peppers. They've also got some habaneros. They've got the jalapenos, which everybody has jalapenos. They've got the serranos. You need the serranos as well.
Good
So
pepper.
I'm hooked. I'm going to go there every time I need salsa. So
Very nice.
and
We've got it.
I'm also going to go there for the potato jokes because apparently you get 2 every day. They have like a chalkboard and they write the jokes up on the board. I'm pretty stoked about that. It's like you just won yourself a customer. Right there.
When you walk out there, they say, "Later, Tater."
Yes.
You should do that to one of them when you see if you get some attention for what they.
I did also. I probably would. They seem like the sort of people who would appreciate that sort of joke. But I did also go down the pickle aisle. We're talking. It was packed, like shoulder to shoulder. We couldn't even take a cart in there. There were so many people. We just like walked in and like I've got 2 kids with me. And we sort of like made a line. It's like hold hands so nobody can break the chain. We're just sort of push our way through like a snake. We went to the pickle aisle, and they have Wickles, and they have their own version of maple bourbon pickles. So I'm going to have to give it a try sometime when there's not a mile-long checkout line because I could not get the pickles and make it back to the podcast in time. I had to leave the store with nothing because the lines were so long.
Oh, no, we need to know. Okay. Did you catch the price point on those compared to
$4.99? So
they're proud of their pickles.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a little
Sheesh.
braggadocio-ness. What do you call that when you're? Yeah, they're proud of their pickles. But
Yeah,
I will say this: as I was leaving, and this might transition us to our next topic. As I was leaving North Carolina, we have these vending machine lottery machines, right? And you can go and you like scan your driver's license, and you put money in. You click the screen, it just like spits out the scratch cards. And there's a kid who's like comes up to my knee. He's got to be like 8 years old. Okay. And he's got like a stack of bills and like can only guess his mom's driver's license. And he's just buying and buying and buying these lottery tickets. And he's not old enough. He's not big enough to see the sign says must be 18. Must be 18 years old to play. He's swiping and it's spitting out cards. I'm like, man.
That a boy kid. He's getting ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. Oh. It's the one in the background we can hear cheering. That's it.
No, my kid's the one that runs to the Coinstar machine and always checks for the extra Proud of their pickles already. Yes. um, I saw that. We'll just keep going as if that didn't happen. My kid checks for the coins because I told them that oftentimes the coins that are rejected in the Coinstar machines are silver or foreign coins. So if there's coins that got spit out and weren't accepted, it's because the weight was wrong for the size, and oftentimes they're old silver. So
That's good to know because I hit Coinstar probably once every 6 months. I have a little leather bag in my car in my console, so every time I'm done, I stuff all my change in there. When it gets full, just remember Coinstar, dump it. And there's always, I don't know, anywhere from 3 to 7 coins that it spits out, and I just put them back in my little leather bag and refill it
for next time.
Yeah, and
Your
they
Uber tip.
reject it again.
You might check them, see if they're like Canadian or old silver or something.
I need to do that. There's a great YouTube channel, and I forget the name of it, but he does a lot of YouTube shorts. And he's like, pay attention if you have this penny. And he shows like the date and what to look for, what's on it. And he'll show what it just sold recently on eBay for. I mean, he'll do it for all sorts of coins and new findings. And he's really good, really intelligent. I wish I remember the name. I don't know why it's on my recommended feed, but I click it because I think it's neat.
That's why it's there.
Yeah,
because you click it.
because I clicked it. Really neat though. But it's like, if I had the time to go through all those coins, holy cow. I mean, he shows coins worth it's a nickel worth $35 to a dime that sold for $10,000 last year. I mean, really cool stuff.
I have a son who loves that. And we went to the bank, and you can buy money at the bank, which is, it's really cool because you buy it for its actual value. And then you can trade it back in and get other money for its actual value. So you can get all the rolled coins you want for the price of the rolled coins, and you're out nothing.
Right.
And if you find something that's worth money, you can sell it for more than it's worth. And this is like this, you can make money from almost nothing. You need some money to start it. But we went to the bank and we bought a case of 50-cent pieces.
Oh, wow.
It's like $500. But we're like, there's no way we're going to spend $500 on your hobby that you're just interested in. But we knew that if he didn't like this hobby at all, we could just take it back at any time, at any bank, and get our full value back, which we did. We took it back, but he was able to flip through all the coins and loved it. Found some old ones that were pretty cool. So
I wish I had the time and patience because they're out there. I mean, there's probably people among this chat and us sitting here that there's some sort of currency they have on hand in their home, vehicle, or in pocket that is worth more than its face value right now. Yeah. I mean, the stats, it has to be there. It's insane.
I always when I get a bill, like I've got one in my pocket. I'll check right now. This is my life savings here. Don't laugh, guys. This is a $5 bill, and it says 672-04647. I always like to read the serial numbers because I'm just convinced that one day I'm going to get one that says 8675309, and I can sell it for like $1 million online.
You got me beat with your savings versus mine. I got a bad.
You have a hole in it.
I do.
Yours has a hole in it.
The green screen is pretty rad. That's what is mine?
Mine has a partial hole.
Oh, sure enough. That's pretty neat. What's my serial number? I don't know. This thing looks like it's 50 years old. It's just absolutely gross.
Does it say payable to bearer in silver upon demand? Because that makes it worth a lot of money as well. Would it be a silver certificate?
Yeah, nope. It's missing 4 corners and a piece out of the center, and it's kind of covered in what I think is mud, if not some sort of.
We'll say mud. Just for the sake of the 6 volt says that's mine. That's my dollar.
Yeah. But speaking of mining currency, we do it every week. Lottery update. Mm-hmm. 2 really cool ones. We might even have 3. The one I want to jump to because I saw it today actually, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. A North Carolinian. Is that what you say?
That's how I say it, but I've been saying things wrong all day long, so I don't base it on my pronunciation.
A woman from Utah. She was playing an online. It's a quote gambling game, but you don't have to gamble. You can play it in what's called demo mode, so you can play with pretend money for fun. And so she did that, but she didn't know. She took it out of demo mode and placed an inadvertent $2 bet and was playing her little game, and then didn't even follow up on her game to see if she won her little funny bet because it was pretend and she was killing time until she got contacted by the North Carolina Lottery to say, hey, your $2 bet that you placed, and she said, I didn't place it. They go, you did, and you won $736,000, the biggest payout.
Oh wait, that bet. I'm remembering now. That was me.
Yes. She didn't even gamble on purpose. It was a total fluke. She probably caught it before the payout. She would have like fought for a refund for her $2 because it was just a game. $736,000.
She's already filed
accident.
the claim with the credit card company disputing the charge. Oh, wait. It looks like the money didn't come through. We're off the hook on this payout.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone's like, what's the game? Send link for download. Where can I play?
All right. So let's see. I've got it over here. Jackpot when she played an online game by accident. Cynthia Harris of Cary, North Carolina.
All right. That's right by Apex, Raleigh area.
So she tried out, it's called Bison Bonanza, a digital instant game available on the lottery's website and mobile app. So it must be state specific, I would assume. But Bison Bonanza.
Bison.
I thought I was playing demo mode, Harris recalled. The accidental play earned the game's progressive epic jackpot, which amounted to $736,874, largest one in digital games since they were launched in November of last year. But it's kind of cool. They asked, just staple question: what do you do with the money? Her immediate answer was to take care of her mother. So,
and buy another phone. And play another game.
And play more
probably. Because I don't have to do anything else when you got that much. I have to say thanks very much. Speaking of lottery winnings, Lois Cox gifted 5 memberships. And I believe Reverend Beasy was a recipient of one of those. He's been trying to win all day. All day. Yep. All day. Also, Kelly P gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much. Love it. Love it. You guys are amazing. Thanks for helping people win, including my wife. Mrs. R.A. is now in green, thanks to Kelly P.
Well, hot dog.
I can count her as one of my supporters.
Yeah. You're so in trouble. I don't know why.
I'm in trouble.
Foot and mouth every podcast. I don't understand.
Oh, man.
One more, a guy. I'll throw this one out and leave you with the third. We'll make it quick, but a man goes to Vegas for his 21st birthday, decides to play not actual Texas Hold'em, but the virtual slot Texas Hold'em game, just for fun. Goes, I went away. Where'd it go? There it is, because I have the winning total. Caesars Entertainment confirmed he wouldn't play it. He's playing for like 10 minutes. Just sat down. He's playing. $362,000 jackpot. Bam. Winner. And since the amount of lottery / gambling stories that come out of people that accidentally win, or it's their first time ever, or it's, they sit down in a casino for 5 minutes and then bam, and it's mind boggling.
We're going to transition straight from that one to Virginia. Another lottery story. Some of these people just, they play on a whim, literally. This guy, he goes to the Food Lion grocery store. What do you get at Food Lion? Chicken, right? You get chicken there. They've got good chicken. Went to get chicken. Got a scratch off at the same time, because you can do that while you're in line to get the chicken. $500,000. Winner chicken dinner. All at once.
And he went out to eat instead of eating the chicken at a very nice restaurant. It's crazy to me.
He's a semi-truck driver, by the way. So, or he was. I'm not sure if he kept his job or if he upgraded to a different career. A lot of times, people love driving truck, and you couldn't get them out of it, even if they didn't need to drive. So
totally. Well, good for him then, because they're super crucial for our economy and what we've got going on. So that's hard work. So good on him for winning that and getting that bonus to himself. That's awesome. It's that's all the lottery we've got for this one. Well, I'm sure these stories they come out in the dozens every week. It's insane. We could do a whole hour on these stories, but one story that I love in particular, because I don't know if those of you that are on the Recovery Addict Facebook page follow a post I put up maybe a week ago or two. And it's a cartoon where a neighbor carved out a tree and he's bending over, the tree's bending over, flashing the neighbor and whatever. So I tagged you in it because of your tree stories.
I felt that story. It hit me right in the feels.
Yeah.
Like, what? First of all, that's impressive to have a tree you can carve into that shape. That just takes some forethought and planning, which is, hats off to you. That's amazing. And I'm also jealous that I didn't think of it first, because that would have been better than just a couple letters on the front yard.
A couple of FUs in a tree.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference, I guess, in this story, it's not so much a neighborly feud like you had. This is a feud that's so common to many between a resident and the HOA. And I personally, so we live in an HOA that doesn't exist.
Like, those are the best kind in my book.
Yeah, we pay them a fee every year, but there's nothing. And we talked to, I don't know, a few dozen of our neighbors, like, we haven't paid in 8 years. We have an HOA. I mean, we don't, because we have a community like pond that they pay for the mowing. They put in these different like LED street lights and stuff, so they pay the fees for all that type of stuff. But outside of that, it's it. There's no one drives by, knocks on your door, looks at anything. But our neighborhood, all the neighbors are amazing. Everyone keeps everything pretty tidy and nice. But this guy in California, he had his boat on his trailer backed up in his driveway. Apparently that's against his HOA laws. And so eventually the HOA got mad and they cited him for it and sent him a letter. Well, he took the Scott approach and
love this guy already.
and decided, okay, I got it. I'll go ahead and take care of this. So I don't know. Do you have the picture handy that I sent to you? He paints. This is a painting.
He built the fence and then
yes,
painted the fence.
So the very, very top of the boat, what you guys are seeing, is the actual part of the boat behind the fence. But the front of the fence is the painting of the boat to make it look exactly like it's still sitting in his driveway.
This guy's awesome. It's given the big middle finger to the HOA. It's like, now we're in compliance and there's nothing you can do about it.
100%. Amazing. And so what's so cool about this is the very reason next year people will see their new policies that come out and it'll say, and you're not allowed to paint your fence to represent any sort of vehicle or something. And someone's going to go, that's the stupidest rule I've ever seen in a car.
Why would you have a rule like that?
And this is why he nailed it.
But he gets grandfathered in because he had it before the rule.
Yes. So I want to give a little bit more context. Mr. Constable said the boat he uses for fishing was regularly parked in his seaside driveway for about 4 years before he received the letter from the city. Oh, so city, not HOA, informing him of a municipal code requiring boats and trailers to be screened on the side and front by 6-foot-high fence. Constable said his initial reaction to the letter was anger, but then he spoke to his neighbor, mural artist Hannafin Panny, and arrived at the creative solution together. Constable had a fence installed to block his driveway, and Panny, who creates art under the name of Hannif Wandir, painted a photorealistic image of the boat and the rest of the driveway on the road facing the fence. We kind of hit the sweet spot between following the rules and making an elegant statement to the contrary, he said. I love it. That's a home run. Absolute home run.
This man's my hero.
And you got to love when a neighbor gets involved. Says, oh, the city's being silly. Let me help you. Give them the middle finger, like you said.
That's what else? I'm thinking that some of the ones that I really like are the people that are like the ham radio people that they run afoul of the HOA, because the HOA is like, oh, you can't have an antenna in your yard. And you're like, look, I'm critical infrastructure for the nation's communication system in the event of a blackout. Everything else will fail. Ham radio won't. Right. And that's how it worked. I mean, like, talk any major disaster, ham radio gets through when all the other systems are down. 9/11, spatial Columbia disaster, wildfires, earthquakes, you name it. Ham radio has been the first communication. Dams that broke, ham radio is the best communication. And And then these HOAs come out and they're like, we don't want the antenna because it's a blight on the skyline. There are people that build ham radio antennas that are just epic, and they go inside your house, and they can put out so much power that you turn your fluorescent lights off and they key up their mic and your lights turn back on, because the energy that comes out of these antennas will light up fluorescent lights. It's amazing. It's amazing to see it. It's so hilarious. I love it when the people do that and sort of stick it to the man a little bit that way.
Absolutely. I think it's really neat too. I know it's not ham radio. It's more of like cell signal and cell towers and whatnot. But when they make like palm trees that look like a palm tree, but it's not a palm tree, it's setting up stuff like that. I think it's pretty neat when you put in the effort to try to make it blend in a little bit and clean it up.
I saw one that was a massive cactus.
Yes, I've seen that one too. It's really cool.
There's like a crane lowering the top of the cactus down over the antenna.
Yeah, it's huge.
I feel like, I mean, what's that the movie that the guy's like in a bubble where the world's all fake around him and he's the only one that doesn't know it.
6 Volt's gonna know it right away.
You guys know the movie, right?
Chad always corrects us, keeps us on the straight and narrow.
Streamer's on like a 10-15 second delay, so it takes a minute. GARP, the Recover Addicts Show. No, the Truman Show. Truman Show. Yes. Adam, I saw what you said there. It feels like that when you're like, something you think is nature and it's actually man-made, and you're like, whoa, if that's not real, what else isn't real? And then you're like, started questioning the moon landing, and next thing you know, you're down a rabbit hole. You're wearing a tinfoil hat, and you've found places on the internet that nobody should find.
Agreed. So. Speaking of tinfoil hat, I don't know if this really falls under that category, but I've got something that I read that I don't know. It might be selective to one little area, but I want to see if chat gets involved and wants to check it out too. It's about getting your mail. And someone wrote in there, and this comes from an actual mail carrier, that they will choose a way to selectively place your mail in your mailbox. Meaning they will find what appears to be either like greetings cards or holiday cards, along with what appears to be checks or things of that nature on top. And they won't place bills on top because they did it out of strategy, because it's just a better experience for the person obtaining their mail. I've never paid attention to the organization of my mail or how it is, or if there's a real reason, but apparently there was a mail carrier who gave an interview on a podcast and said, yes, that's what they did, more than just him. So I'm curious if people go out and check their mail over the next week, what the order of their mail is. I thought they just did off size, like my magazines and ads that are bigger are on the bottom, and the envelopes were just on top, because it just works that way. But I found that very interesting. And
now I'm more concerned with the fact that the mailman is sort of like, judge me based on what I'm getting in the mail. Like,
this guy gets checks every day.
Another pink letter. What the mailman I think he should have. We've got a couple mailmen in chat. Do we have any mailmen with us tonight? We've got a couple mailmen in our community. I'm curious. The mailman must know us better than Amazon. I say that because we order things from more places than Amazon, and the mailman delivers all our Amazon packages in addition to the other stuff.
That's true. I've seen a lot of bunch of junk mail. No matter what, so shoved to the back. I think
what I got today in the mail.
This is probably the most accurate.
I didn't know we were going to go here. Let me cover up my address here, but I got.
Feel free to.
I got one of these. Ooh, looks like a lottery, right? It says. Let me make the focus work so you guys can read it. See, play the $25,000 cash game, and it shows right here. You guys see this? No, probably not.
Yeah, we get the gist.
Okay, so bar, win, and then it shows $25,000 cash. All this looks really cool. Scratch off, match across to win. Winners call this number. And you can see right here, I got 777777, which looks like it's a winner.
Mm-hmm.
The fine print shows that of the 45,000 of these they sent out, 44,996 of the people are going to win a $5 Walmart gift card if they drive down to, I think this is Kinston, about half an hour away, wait in line at a car dealership, give them all your information as far as to get put on mailing lists, and tell them what you're interested in buying, and talk to a salesman about what cars you want to trade in. And then they will let you check your confirmation code, which does not necessarily mean that I won the $5,000 or $2,000 cash. The 777777 is probably what everybody has on theirs. But that being said, the $25,000 cash, I have 1 in 45,000 chance of winning.
It's better than the lottery.
Which is better odds than any lottery ticket. You can bet I'm headed down to the dealership to see if I got a $5 card. This stuff works on me.
Hello, my name's Dwayne, and I received this.
Dwayne Bourne. I'm here to collect my my $5 gift card, or possibly $25,000.
Absolutely, I love it. Why not? Awesome. Well, Scott, I've got some hockey to go watch, and I'm responsible for making dinner for the girls. And there's some storms in the state.
I would suggest you do it in this order.
I'm all ears.
Dinner, storms, and hockey. We'll put the hockey on record.
Dinner, storms.
Okay. Then put your phone on silent so nobody can spoil it for you. Record the hockey.
Yeah.
So you can watch that later.
That's a great point.
Important because you get people fed and they'll stop bugging you. Watch the storms because you won't get a chance to go back and watch them. Something cool happens, so you will miss it. And you know that if you don't go out and watch them, it'll be really cool. It'll be like what's behind you, you know. You'll miss that. So
that's a good point. I could put hockey on the back burner because no one watches the Hurricanes anyways.
Sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong screen trying to put comments in there. You can't put hockey on record.
But that's I've got one more. It came to mind. What do you call a frog that's illegally parked?
Rivet, croak. I don't know what.
Toad.
I was so close. I
thought you were gonna get it. I really did. I thought you were gonna get it.
Oh man.
Last shout out, if I may, I'm really excited. Local meteorologist here in my community, I reached out. We had a discussion. He has agreed to do an interview. Likely might be on my channel. Haven't decided yet. We might do it on a podcast. I know not everyone loves weather and they don't want to sit there and have a long interview with the weatherman, potentially.
Everybody loves the weatherman when it's about their area.
Well, so we'll put out the feelers, see if they either want on my channel or on the podcast. I'm good with either or.
Me too.
I'm real excited.
It's awesome. And so you've got an exciting week next week. I can't wait for the updates for the police academy and seeing how all that went, as that's coming to an end rapidly. And we're going to be, we live here now as far as the court case goes. So for the next month, we're with Karen Reed. We might catch up a little closer to live. I know a lot of people are expressing a little frustration. They'd like to be more involved in the conversation that's going on. And if we can get a little closer to live, it would be better. We're not going to catch up all the way, but another try.
I'm having fun with it. At first, I was like, and then when I'm just listening to the witnesses, like flip-flop and do 180s on the stand, I'm like, what?
Witnesses don't do that, do they?
It's amazing. So speaking of the trial, what time for you tomorrow?
8:45. Ish.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, tuning in tonight. It's been a blast. It's always fun. Love Thursday evenings. Again, the information, the opinions, the wittiness that comes from chat makes this what's fun for Scott and I. So thank you all for being here and hanging out with us.
Likewise, ditto. What he said. You guys be good. We'll see you guys later. Have fun.